What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to tell you about the premium massage gun from Bob and Brad, the X6 Pro. Now you might remember just a few weeks ago I did review the Bob and Brad C2 mini massage gun, and right now you can see the difference in size. There is quite a difference. This is a smaller one, this is a bigger one. And if that was the only difference, then this review would be over right now. But there are a few more differences that I want to tell you about. So in case the name didn't give it away, the X6 Pro is a professional level full-size massage gun. Now it's got a little bit of heft, but it still only weighs in at 1.6 pounds, so it's very easy to maneuver in my hand. You can see the handle is just a little bit longer than my hand, and I can only imagine that is for like two-handed operation, perhaps if you wanted to really get into those muscles. Otherwise, I don't know why this extra space is needed. Now, of course, you may be thinking, Matt, it's for the extra battery. It's so the battery can fit into the handle. But the C2 does have the same 25 milliamp hour battery in a much smaller handle. So it's difficult to say other than for utilitarian reasons, like you probably would just want to hold onto it a bit more to get a little more leverage. And obviously because it is pro or a pro level massage gun, it's going to be made just a little bit better, perhaps stronger materials that are going to stand up to a little bit more punishment, perhaps in a professional setting. Now, before I get too deep into this review, I do want to talk about price, because price I think is the most important thing when we're looking at tools to help our running, to help our recovery from our running. And honestly, I chose a pretty bad day to review this massage gun, because on Amazon right now, the X6 Pro is selling for $220. But if we look at the history of the X6 Pro, we can see there is a history of the price coming up and down. And just to let you guys know, Bob and Brad were kind enough to send this to me for the purpose of review. But when I received it a couple of weeks ago, it was only $200 on Amazon, plus they had an instant $20 coupon. So obviously at $220, I cannot recommend that you pay that price for it, because if history is going to teach us anything, it's going to teach us that the price of this is going to come down. So hold on. I will be putting a link in the show notes below, so just check back to that link if you're thinking about getting this massage gun. But let's talk about some specs. What makes this massage gun better than all the others? Well, let's start off with what it comes with. It comes in a beautiful carry case, which is going to hold everything you need. If you're traveling, it's very easy to throw this thing on the back seat of your car, throw it into a backpack, and you've got a massage gun to take with you to soothe those tired muscles when you go out for a run while you're traveling. It comes with 5 attachment heads. Of course, we have the ball head. Now, the ball head is a very firm foam. And to be honest, this is the head that I use, I'd say 90% of the time. This is a pretty good head. It's used for big soft tissue muscle groups, and it's firm enough where when I really want to get into those muscles and loosen up those tight muscles from running, it does the job. Plus, because it's foam, if I want to go light on a certain muscle group, I can do that too. It also comes with the air cushion head. Can you see that? It's like a little, well, that's exactly what the name said. It's an air cushion head. And this, like the foam ball head, is good for large muscle groups. And I like this one because it's a little more forgiving. It's got that air cushion, so you're not getting that really hard punch deep into your muscle. It's more like a tool that you would use if you're looking for vibration therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that. This air cushion head feels really good all over your body, because it's got that flat head. You don't have to worry about pushing too hard and hurting yourself. Next up, we have the bullet head. Now, the bullet head, oh, it looks just like a bullet, doesn't it? Now, while I don't use this often, this is probably the head that I use most often after the foam ball head, because this is perfect for getting deep into those trigger points. When you have a muscle that is just tight in one spot, you know when you're foam rolling and you find that spot that just hurts and you just have to roll slowly? Well, this is that spot that you're going to use the bullet head for. And mostly I use this for my glutes. When I have tight glutes, I can just really just dig in there and get a good percussion and loosen that trigger point. It actually feels really good in the places that you can dig really deep, but on most of the muscle groups, it's just a little too harsh. And as a runner, most of the muscles that I am massaging when I'm using a massage gun are going to be my quads, my hammies, sometimes my calves, but I feel very squirmy when I'm doing my calves because they're so sensitive. I have to go really light with that foam ball head. I don't really do my back, my upper body, my arms. They don't get much love from the massage gun. So really, I'm very limited on where I can use this bullet head. It's usually my glutes. Next up is an attachment that, I don't know if I ever use it. I know I have used it, but it's good to have in case I feel like it's something I need. Now, let me just point out that if you look on the bottom of this head right here, there is a little notch. And on the fork head, there is a notch on the attachment. And you guessed it, The notch goes into the other notch, so this thing doesn't slide around, which is probably a safety issue because this is going to be perfect for going along your spine, perhaps on your shoulders. And let's say you were using this to dig into your spine. You don't want this thing twisting all around. So it stays in place and just provides a nice percussion along the outside of your spine. You know, now that I've been describing how I would use this, it is actually something that I would use when I get like a bout of low back pain. I can see how this would really come in handy. Just since I've had this, I haven't had any back pain, so I haven't had a chance to use it. Okay, we are on to the last attachment, and this is what separates this from most of the others. This is the metal flathead, and I really like this one. And you can see here, it's threaded on the end, and you can see right in the middle of the head here, it is also threaded, and this gives a really nice percussion. But what I like most about this, because it's metal, it conducts heat very well. So if I wanted to heat this thing up or cool it down, I can do that, and it would be like having a hot stone massage, which I'm not really a fan of. I prefer cold to heat. So I have put this thing in the freezer, and then I've used it to massage my quads, and it feels really good. The only downside is because it's metal, it heats up to room temperature very quickly. But while it's cold, it feels fantastic. Now, if you ever used oil to massage, this would be a great tool to use that for. The metal head would just slide nicely on the oil, just adds a little bit to the whole experience of a percussion massager. Now, although this is a plastic body on this massage gun, it is different from the C2. The plastic on the X6 Pro feels just a little more premium. That could also be due to the increased weight, but the extra weight is a sign of quality too. The X6 Pro has two shafts, both are made of aircraft grade aluminium. And this handle, you see how it's kind of plastic, and then we come down to this silicone handle. Bob and Brad call this a liquid silicone handle, which for some reason I really like. I like how that's described, and it feels really soft, feels really good in my hand. It's a good grip. So I've already said that this is a 25 milliamp hour battery, but this battery will last a long time. On the spec sheet, it says it's going to last 4 hours. Now, 4 hours is a very long time for a massage gun, and I've had this thing for a couple of weeks. I haven't had to charge it once. Now, it does have an auto shut-off feeder. It shuts down on its own after 10 minutes, and that's just a self-preservation tool to stop it from overheating and perhaps stop you from doing any damage to your body. However, it turns off on its own. You can just turn it back on and use it for another 10 minutes. And I suppose in reality, you could do that 24 times with a 4-hour battery life. The X6 Pro is controlled by one button right on the back, and you press and hold it for 1 second to turn it on, and you can probably hear it right now. The mic is right here, so you can hear the gun vibrating right next to it. And level 1 starts off at 2,000 RPMs. We go to level 2, it ups it to 2,300 RPMs. Level 3 is 2,600 RPMs. Level 4, 2,900 RPMs, and then we go to a maximum speed of 3,200 RPMs, which is actually pretty good. Look at this thing. It's going mad. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna try and stop it for my next fact. All right, I can't do it. This is gonna sound pretty weak. And then you press it again to turn it off. If you start it again, you want to turn it off in the middle of a cycle, you press and hold the button. But that brings up a pretty good point. You see how just in that little experiment of me trying to stall the motor, it has a stall force of 44 pounds. And that means that you can put 44 pounds of pressure into your muscles before this motor is gonna stall. Guys, let me tell you, you will not be stalling this motor on your muscles. So that is something that makes this the Pro version. This is something that separates it from the smaller, less expensive massage guns. The stall force is a lot higher on this one. So too is the amplitude. We have 10.5 millimeters of throat, and that is really going to percussion. It's really going to percuss your muscles. Can you say it like that? It's really going to give your muscles a good vibration. And I've got to tell you, it feels pretty good. This next experiment, I don't know how valid it really is going to be, but you can see I have a noise meter app on my phone, and if I'm quiet, you can see it's hovering about 40 decibels here in the office, and that's probably because I've got a light running just over there, and there's a fan keeping it cool. I think that's the background noise. But Bob and Brad claim that the X6 Pro is 50% lighter than the competition, so let's have a look and see what happens. We're going to put it on the first setting to start off, and I'm going to look backwards in the camera, but is that going up to 67, 68, 69? Let's go up to the next speed. Yeah, we're hitting 69, 70 on speed 2, 3. All right, now we're going up. We've got, am I seeing up to 71, 72? Let's go up to speed 4. All right, it's very difficult to see. I need to move that a little closer. Okay, it's actually getting quieter as it gets, as the speed goes up. And we're gonna go up to the 5th setting, 61. You know what? I have been ruining this experiment by speaking. but at the fastest setting, 60 decibels is what it was reading. Pretty good. And if I would ever stop talking for a second, it would be a lot quieter. Okay, so now I want to tell you about something that I don't really like, but then I'm going to follow it up with why it's a pretty silly reason to not like it, and that is the charging mechanism. So the X6 Pro does come with a plug and an outlet that plugs into the bottom of the gun, and then I have to plug this into a wall. I've been really spoiled because the C2 has a USB-C charging port, which means I can charge it on the go. I mean, all my stuff is charged by USB-C. Like, each of us have untold USB-C cords lying around the house. So that's something I don't like. I feel like a USB-C just makes it seem like it's keeping up with society, you know? It's giving the people what they want. And this is not giving the people what they want. But on the other side of the coin, with a 4-hour battery life, let's be honest, you're not going to be charging this massage gun very often. Now, it does go from nothing to a full charge in 3 hours, so it's really no big deal to just plug it in for a couple hours and then you are actually done for weeks. I don't know about you, but it's going to take me a long time to get through the full battery life of the X6 Pro. 4 hours of percussion massage is a long time. And to keep your eye on the battery life, we do have a battery indicator right here at the bottom of the handle. So my friends, I actually think this is a phenomenal massage gun. I've been really pleased with it. If you are looking to spend a little more money to get something that is better than a smaller massage gun, this is the one to consider getting. However, with that said, guys, I can't recommend that you buy it at $220. Not when historically speaking, the price has been considerably lower, and more than likely it's going to be lower in the future. So again, I'm going to provide a link. I want you to check back, and when it gets down to $200 with a $20 coupon, so you're paying no more than $180, I think that's actually a pretty phenomenal value for the X6 Pro. Guys, if you have any specific questions, I welcome you to write them in the comments below. My name's Matt. This has been my review of the Bob and Brad X6 Pro. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you in a couple of days.